What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all well. In today's video, I'll be showing you exactly how I managed to make $4,750 in 27 minutes in the Forex markets. After going through the top-down analysis of the trade, I'll be showing you exactly what went well, what didn't, and what I could have improved on. And then after that, I'll show you my execution on MetaTrader and the before and after screenshots. To end off the video, I'll give you some advice on how to secure your first payout. Follow me on my other social media platforms where I document my journey from zero to hero. This is just the beginning and you don't want to miss out. Okay, so let's get into the breakdown. As we can see here, we're on Euro USD. Price is currently making higher highs, higher lows, and higher highs and higher lows on the daily time frame. And as we can see, the most recent high is right here. Broke this high to the left. And it's brought from this level right here. So this higher low is what caused this breach right here. And as we can see here, we can mark out a level of trendline liquidity right here. Also, we must keep in mind, price tapped into a monthly imbalance. So currently, my overall perspective in the market, I'm looking for price to come into this supply zone on the monthly time frame. However, on the daily, we've made a new high, so we anticipated for price to tap into this level here. That's why I marked out this daily extreme. Let me just remove this. Let me drop to the 4 hourly as well. Okay, so we can see here, this is the new higher low created on the daily time frame. Price tapped into this imbalance and moved off. As we can see, when price has moved off, it's tapped into the third tap of a level of trend line. So we can see here, first tap, second tap, third tap here. And price has pulled back down into a level of demand within this area right here. So keeping in mind that there's trend line here, we've tapped into a daily imbalance and we've struggled to create a lower low. We've struggled to breach this daily level here. So price can only be bullish. We can anticipate buyers to take control of the market. So if we drop down to the 1 hour, okay, so now we're on the hourly time frame. So this is the higher low created on the 4 hour. Since that was created, we can see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, and we've continued to make higher highs and higher lows on the 1 hourly time frame for a while. So on this Tuesday the 2nd of December is when I took the trade that we're gonna be analyzing. So come Monday, no trade. I've got this extreme level marked out and this extreme level marked out. This one is irrelevant, so we can delete that one. Had this one marked out in case price pulled back here on the Monday to break this level of trend line. However, it didn't. So we can see, let's say it's the 2nd of December. This would be current price action. So on the Friday, we made a high low. We closed within this area here, just below the break of structure. Okay, Asian session on Monday. We get small amount of manipulation. We get a liquidation of this Asian high and a breach of these equal highs. If we go now to the 30-minute, let me show you here. So we got a high here as well. But let's say it's Monday. Let's look at Monday first. This is now the 30-minute. So on Monday, I've marked out this extreme level, aware that there's trendline liquidity here, which is why I marked out that even more extreme level below, which we just deleted. And as we can see here, come Monday, London session price was extremely euphoric without having taken the Asian low. So I've got the Asian low marked out there. Price is euphoric in London session, takes out the high, breaches the trendline liquidity that we marked out earlier. Remember on the 4 hour, it tapped for the third time. It's breached that level now. Okay, so we can see we've got a break of structure of this level. This is now the new high on the 1 hour. And on the 5-minute, we begin to retrace. So as we know, after a high, we look for a higher low. However, we cannot guess where it's meant to be. With the proper analysis, we need to mark out the most probable zones. So we've got this 2 hour extreme and this 1 hour decisional, which I have marked out, which I believed at the time would take us to the next higher high. So let's go back to Monday on the 5 minute. Okay, so as we can see, now after we made the higher high on Monday in the London and New York crossover, so as you can see here, these are my kill zones. So London 8 a.m. to London 11 a.m. and then we got New York 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And this is red folder news that I had marked out. So in the crossover, we made the new higher high on the 1 hour. I decided to begin to mark out my 5 minute levels of structure. So we've got here lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character right here. Lower low, lower high, lower low. Break of structure. So now we've got confirmation there's a shift in trend. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower. We've been very bearish in New York session. Cool. New York session has now ended here. We've continued to make my New York kill zone has ended. New York session is still going. So we continue to make lower low, lower high, all the way until down here. By this time, I'm off the charts. Once 5 p.m. hits, I'm off the charts. So cool. Next day now, I'm up for my London session, which is this kill zone right here. I come to the charts. I see the candlestick prints from Asian session. I marked out this potential smart money trap because at this point, I understand price has been very euphoric to the downside. Let's move this back. Okay, price has been very euphoric to the downside. Look at all this bearish pressure. So I've marked out this imbalance, this smart money trap, because I understand that when price, okay, let's go back to the 5 minute structure. Price made lower low, lower high, lower low, complex pullback. However, this is still a lower high. Taps into this smart money trap. Why do I believe this is a smart money trap? Because it tapped in within Asian session and this was the Asian high. Price moved down, struggled to create a new low and take out the Asian low. And as you can see, I've got marked out smart money traps, liquidity, all the areas where smart money is inducing traders into the market just to take them out for the real move. So cool. This is now between here, Asian session and London session, we've got Frankfurt session. So in Frankfurt session, we've tapped it into another smart money trap, moved off, taken this smart money trap out, taken this trendline liquidity out, taken this smart money trap out, sweep the Asian high, sweep this liquidity sweep, and tapped into the imbalance. So once I've seen this, I'm a very happy man because now I know this liquidity sweep of this high and the inducement of all of these traders, the move is going to happen soon. So now it's just about being patient and finding that confirmation within the charts. So let's take a look now. We're still on the 5 minute. However, I begin to mark out, as you can see with my green highlighter tool, I begin to mark out 1 minute levels of structure. I'm waiting for this 5 minute level to breach this whole time. However, I go to the 1 minute. Okay, so TradingView is not letting us go down to the 1 minute to look back at the 2nd of December. As you can see, we're on the 3 minute. This is as far as we can even go. So let's look at this on the 3 minute time frame. Okay, this is good enough. So on the 3 minute, we can see this 1 minute level of structure was the first lower low. You could say it's a higher low. However, we failed to make a higher high on the 5 minute. So we got a lower high, lower low, lower high, induced this level. Prices come back. It's just manipulating, inducing traders into the market. We've taken this level of trend line out, swept this high, and prices moved all the way back down. On the 1 minute, this is a break of structure on the 1 minute. So I've now gone and said, okay, so we've got this smart money trap being taken out, this trendline liquidity being swept, this smart money trap being taken out, a break of structure. I've now identified an extreme level. And this, you can see, this is the first loss I took on that day. So I identified a decisional level because there was an extreme level here which had been mitigated. So price tapped into the decisional level. Unfortunately, that was a loss. So that trade ended up being a loss. It got liquidated, as you can see right here. Then all the bearish momentum came straight after this inducement. Price created another break of structure, new leg to the downside on a 1 minute, retraced into this imbalance and pushed all the way back down, swept this smart money trap, swept this equal low, broke the 5 minute structure and took out this Asian low. Then I've marked out this level of extreme. I now understand price has swept this Asian low, swept even more levels of liquidity, induced way more buyers into the market. And remember, this is the 1 hour decisional zone we're aiming for. So what I've done, marked out the extreme. I also marked out a decisional here, however, it did not get respected. Marked out the extreme, set my sell limits here. We can see this trend line got swept, this smart money trap got swept. Price tapped into my extreme level and flew all the way to my take profit. As you can see, I put my take profit target at the top of the zone. Why? Because I'm not greedy. I understand if price is this close to my zone, why am I gonna aim for 50% or lower? So I settled for the, what was this, 1 to 6? 1 to 6.6. I settled for that. Very happy with it, especially as it being my first trade on my funded account. I got funded the day before I took this trade. So I was happy with whatever profits I could take. And as you can see, as price tapped it, price reversed all the way. I would have been taken out. Price reversed all the way just to enter deeper levels after. So price collected liquidity levels, even potentially from here. So there may have been sellers from my same level who were reaching for the stars that then got taken out, and their liquidity was used to push price into deeper levels of the zone. And as you can see, price moved off from this decisional level and created a new high on the 1 hour. Okay, so for a bit of an overview of that trade, first we're going to go over the things that went well. One thing I think went very well with that trade was my ability to not, I let my greed to get the better of myself. So as you saw, I took profit at the tap of the high time frame POI. I didn't reach for 50%. I didn't assume it would even get swept and price would tap the extreme hourly POI. I put it exactly where was correct. I didn't assume price was going to fly. I didn't assume price was going to make a 1 to 10, a 1 to 15, a 1 to 20. I put it exactly on the tap because I understand price could reverse from there. And that's exactly what it done. If I was greedy, I would have been taken out of that trade. And I may have not even made any profits. Why? It takes me on to something that went wrong. One thing that went wrong with that trade, I didn't take partial profits at 1 to 3. I always take partials at 1 to 3. However, this time I did not take partials at 1 to 3. And if it wasn't for my take profit management, I would have had a second loss for that day. Because when I take a 1 to 3 partials, I move my stop loss to break even, to protect my capital. So because I didn't do that, I would have been in for a second loss, putting me in even more drawdown. Because as you saw, I took a loss prior to that trade. Aside from those 2 points, I'm very happy with how the trade went. The analysis was on point on that day. I did take one loss, however, it's part of the game. It's how it goes. I'm not upset about it. I was sticking to my rules, so it is what is. Made it back straight after. And as you can see, I didn't point it out, but as you can see, if you go back and watch the video, you can see the entry time and the exit time. So you can see the 27 minutes if you lot care about that. On the screen right now, I'm going to put the before and after videos or screenshots, whatever I took on the day. You're going to see it on the screen right now. Anyway, I'll show you the before and after of the trade. And I'm going to show you lot the MetaTrader executions just so you can see my exact entry point and my exact exit point. One bit of advice I'll give you lot when it comes to securing your first payout, because getting funded, I'm not going to say it's easy, but it's very doable. But once you get funded, I saw once a statistic that 90% of traders, they don't manage to secure the payout once they get funded. And one tip I believe helped me secure my payout is just treating my funded account like it's a demo account. Not caring about the account. Belief in myself that I know how to trade. So even if the trade was a loss, So what? Even if I blow the account, so what? I have the ability to pass another account and then make another payout. So when you have this type of mindset, you don't allow stress to take over your mind. You don't allow doubts and overthinking to get the better of you and then affect your trading. So definitely, definitely get good. Perfect the craft of trading. Don't just hope for the best. Become a good trader, get funded, and secure your payout. That's going to be the end of this video. I hope you lot enjoyed. I can't wait to make my next video. I might do some advice or tips on how to get funded. I've also got a day in the life coming out soon. Very soon. I've got a day in the life coming out soon. And yeah, I hope you lot enjoyed. Take care.